Hello. I don't usually talk for things, but I don't have fucking X Premium, and I'm not trying to give money to that company at all, obviously. So I'm talking, and I'll probably just put some background footage. So yeah, I just want to have like a proper closure sort of thing. Um, this is something I want to do before I totally like drop aiming stuff as a whole and sort of move on to something else, because this does mean a lot to me and it really changed my life. And I know it seems silly to a lot of people that don't know anything about the topic. So hopefully this is not too long. um, but today, or over the past like few weeks, I've been put in a situation where I can fully commit to something that I'm very passionate about and that I really want to center my life around for the near future. And it is not anything related to aiming or the aim community or aim training or aim coaching or any of that. And I'll get into it. I'll get into it later. But if you don't know who I am, I'm Skylar. I'm also Amare. Most people probably know me as Amare or Skylar. I've went by a bunch of different names. I've been a part of, it's fucking like corny as fuck to say low-key out loud, but like the AIM community for like 3, 4, 5 years. I started like 2020, 2021 because I had an insight on Data's work with TSM and R6, and Data I'm pretty sure went on to do a lot of Valve stuff too, so you might know who that is. And I had some insights on it from a friend. It might have been leaking, it might not have been leaking, but it's pretty old, so I don't think it matters to even say it anymore. But he was sort of introducing some players and sort of showing the Aimer 7 routines to them and showing how you can improve them mechanically and just bringing up the idea and just showing it off. I don't know if the players committed to it or how much they actually cared about it, but I saw the approach as well, and I looked into it because I came from console, and when I got a PC in like 2020, 2021, my mechanics were obviously horrible because I used a controller my whole life, and I was really harsh on myself, especially with how bad my mechanics were. So I really dove into this and I stuck to it, and I really just analyzed it for what it was and took notes. And I mean, I'm just pretty autistic about these type of things, so I put too much time into it, too much time into analyzing it, and slowly it became more of a focus to me than the actual game, especially because in later years I had a bunch of false bans, I was getting banned from leagues. But yeah, over time I dove into this, I got into it, and it became more of a focus to me than the game I planned to put all my time into. And then as time went on and I sort of shared my ideas and my thoughts and like how I was approaching stuff and how I was thinking about stuff, I eventually joined AIM groups, as a lot of people do. I joined Aimers. I didn't really do much in Aimers. I was just sort of there, and it felt like an accomplishment at the moment. And then I became friends with someone a lot of you know, named as Lorys. And he gave me his insights on stuff, and he really carried me along, and he showed me that I had some unique ideas and that I had some understandings that weren't really talked about and that people haven't really tapped into. And we ended up doing projects on our own. Obviously, we did the Angelic project, which is like the first set of tacFPS benchmarks on Kovacs that ever released. I'm not proud of them anymore. They're very bare bones, and a lot of the scenarios are just not modernized at all. They can be way better now that we know way more. But it was a big deal for me. And I know a lot of you don't like me because of Voltaic stuff and the drama that occurred when I left Voltaic, and I simply can't reply to, their ending reply of all that drama. It's not in my best interest to, and also diving into it personally and revealing the situation at full leaves a lot of people vulnerable, and I also just don't think it's that serious. I think both sides made mistakes, and I was very ignorant when it came to like contracts and being under deals and working for orgs and doing stuff for other people, because I grew up very isolated. and I'm also disabled. I've never had a job. I can't drive. I grew up in a situation where I had no exposure to that, so there was some stuff on my side that I should have been smarter about, and there's some stuff on the other side that I'm just not going to talk about. It's not worth it. And eventually, I got dragged into a group chat where I was approached with the idea of VT Valorant benchmarks and brainstorming for it and creating just stuff for Valorant in general through VT. And it was just a big group chat with all these people I've, at the time, had looked up to heavily. The main ones that I can name off the top of my head are like, Minigod, Cartoon. Cartoon was the big one for me at that point. And I was just in the right place at the right time, I guess. I woke up to a call like 6 in the morning my time. It was probably later in the day for them. I woke up, I answered the phone, and I don't know if my mic picked it up, but I was low-key just like groaning into the mic off like 3 hours of sleep, and then I saw who was in the call, and I freaked the fuck out. I don't think it got picked up there, but yeah, I was very starstruck, and I really wanted to get on board with everything. It felt like a huge opportunity to me, and yeah, so that's what happened. And then the history of Voltaic happened, which I'm not going to get into, but they gave me a lot of opportunities still that I'm very grateful for, and I am mainly grateful for, Cartoon and Lorys, because they really helped me a lot, showed me a lot. Also, Minigod helped a lot. Not as much, but he helped a lot. He got my name out there. We all sort of grew together, but they helped me grow more than I helped them grow, obviously, and I appreciate that a lot. Just being able to work with those people, working for such a big project, being able to do something I was able to put my heart into, even though the pay wasn't what I wanted and stuff didn't end up how I wanted, I'm still glad I got to work on something that meant so much to me at the time. I will quickly bring up that I really hate that's on AIM Labs, and I really don't like the state of like what's going on with AIM Labs having sort of a grip on the AIMCOM, and they're able to just sort of approach any influential group of people within the community with money and sort of hold them by the neck. And yeah, I just don't think AIM Labs is the future. I think we should move away from it, but that doesn't matter to me really anymore, and I don't think I can do much about it. Then all that happened, and I continued to do stuff on my own, and obviously now I'm a part of Astrum, and now I'm done. And over that time period, I left a lot of stuff out, mainly the coaching. When I was getting into stuff, I was able to coach and guide and create resources for literally T1 players, T2 players across every tacFPS title, and just DMing them or interacting with them the slightest bit was a huge deal to me at the time. I mean, I look up to all these people, obviously. Ideally, I'd want to be in a T1, T2 position and my game of choice, and it means a lot to me. And, there was a lot of times when aim coaching was my main focus where me and my family weren't in a good spot. We were very heavily into poverty. The government here in America doesn't really favor the lower class. It doesn't favor the disabled. It doesn't favor the mentally ill. It doesn't favor, I mean, I'm trans, obviously, so it doesn't favor me. So, I want to quickly give a shout out to mainly OD and everyone I coached. I love coaching all of you. I love teaching people, watching them learn. It means a lot to me. Yeah, it means a lot to me. Like, I really love sitting there, teaching people, watching them learn, watching them get excited about learning. I also love taking people who had poor experiences or got scammed before, which is sadly such a huge issue with coaching and aim coaching. There's so many people that don't know what they're talking about, have no proof that they know what they're talking about, no credibility, and they sort of just manipulate the public into dragging them in, and they teach them the bare minimum, or they teach them nothing useful at all and sort of take their money and dip. So taking people who are in those situations and being able to actually help them and not sort of leave them in the dark after their poor experiences, that meant a lot to me. But huge thank you to OD. This man alone is the reason it was able to be a career for me at one point, a job for me at one point. I was literally able to put food on the table for my family when we weren't able to eat over a meal a day, because of a huge reason of it was because of OD26. I was able to I don't want to say exact amounts, but I was able to rack in, well over 20, 30 grand within a year off of just doing what I loved at the time. Obviously, eventually got to the point where I couldn't do it anymore and my own personal issues took over, but just being able to make that amount and support the people I care about and give stuff to the people I care about, which I've never been able to do in my entire life, especially because I'm like, disabled and trans. I didn't ever think that would even be a possibility, so I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, I'm just very thankful for all of that. I know I put the work in to deserve it, but still, I did obviously get a little lucky, and I came across the right people, and I'm so grateful for that, because if things didn't go how they went, I might not be where I am now. So, just very grateful. Pulling up Alexander's stream, seeing him play through a playlist of like where 90% of the sends have my name in it, being able to talk to people or interact with people like Elige, or just seeing like Yay grinding through the leaderboards on all my sends, just stuff like that. It means so much to me because obviously I look up to all these people. Before I move on, I just want to, I don't want to like, I know there's a lot of people out there that give misinformation that think they're giving good information, and I don't want to sit here and clown on anyone, but I'm going to quickly go through some names that I think are trustable, and I think you can trust me because of how long I've been around and dealing with a bunch of bullshit to, I mean, I'm sort of grown up now, I guess. It's sort of crazy. I'm in my 20s. I live with my girlfriend. I'm in a way better situation, and it's the first time in my life where I can fully dedicate to something without all these outside things affecting it, and without the constant possibility of having to drop everything just to live a normal life. So I have the opportunity to fully dedicate to Siege, and mainly female Siege, and that means the most to me. And I want to fully dedicate to this. I really care about like the female slash non-binary, the marginalized gender space in gaming in general, and I think in the game that I that I fell in love with, sadly, it is non-existent. And because I have the opportunity to create something, do something, I really want to take it. I really want to do as much as I can with my passion to help people that are affected for no good reason. So yeah, I'm gonna fully commit to female Siege, marginalized gender Siege, growing the scene, working my ass off, showing that, not just men belong in the scene, and showing why, the separate events and circuits for marginalized genders are important, and I want that to be my focus. Siege is my focus, marginalized gender Siege, marginalized gender gaming as a whole is my focus. That is what I want to focus on. I think AIM stuff has sort of took a turn for the worse, especially the community, and I don't find as much enjoyment in it anymore, and it's just not, it was never like I never went into it thinking like I want to turn this into like a career. Like I want to make like this is my dream. It sort of just happened, and I was really grateful for it, and I went with it as long as I could, and I'm just done with it now. So yeah, I love everyone who helped me. I love everyone in the community, even though, some of you have treated me very poorly. Some of you have treated me very greatly. I truly wish the best for everyone. You guys have done so much for me. It means the world. And from now on, I will be in Astrum still. I'll be trying to redirect anything that has to deal with aim training within the group to other people that I trust. And yeah, from now on, that's the case. Thank you guys.